Hey guys, so I mentioned that I got a new van. I'll tell you the story really quick on how I bought it, and then I want to show you this winch that I installed and why I installed it, in case you want to get one for your van. Remember that video I made when I showed you that I got that brand new auto scrubber? Well, I was really excited that day because I had always wanted an auto scrubber. And I ended up getting this really big customer that had two giant, like, mega churches. And they wanted me to go and scrub and wax all their floors during this COVID shutdown situation. So I knew this job was coming up, and I knew that there was no way I was going to do it with my buffer or my side-by-side machine, because the labor would just be insane. So I was like, I should go out and buy an auto scrubber. I've always wanted one. Now's the time to do it. This job is going to way more than pay for it, so let's just go ahead and do it. So I did a bunch of research, and I found that Minuteman machine that I did the review about on this channel. And I go down to pick it up, and I remember it was $6,500. That's a lot of money. And as I'm leaving, I go to turn my van on, and my van won't start. It just wouldn't start. I don't know what was wrong with it. It would sit there and just crank and crank and crank. It wasn't the battery. I don't know what it was. But I got to thinking, this van is old. It's 1998. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. It looks pretty good on the outside. It's clean and everything. But it's just old. And these jobs that I'm doing are a lot of money. And I don't want to screw up with a customer by not showing up on time because I'm dealing with a van. And I was thinking about this. Sometimes when these jobs, like if you're going to do a big restaurant, the restaurant owner shows up with their entire staff, and they empty the entire restaurant out into the parking lot or into a hallway or into the kitchen. They take all the tables and chairs and decorations and everything in the entire restaurant. They clear it all out so that you can come do your job. And they give you the key during the daytime when they're there. And then I would go home, and I'm supposed to come back in the middle of the night. And if they do all that work, I'm supposed to come back in the middle of the night, but then I go out to get out in my van and the van won't turn on. People are going to be pissed because they just paid for all that labor for everyone to move the crap out. They spent their day moving the crap out, and then they're going to have to pay people to move all the crap back in, and they didn't even get the job done. So they did all that stuff for no reason, and you're going to burn through relationships and get a bad reputation if you don't show up. So I was thinking, this van's old. It's paid off. I haven't made a payment on it in a really long time. It's reached the end of its life for me. So I went out and I bought a brand new van and did a lot of research. I figured that I wanted a Chevy 2500. I went to the car dealership, wrote them a check, and drove home in the van. So now I got this brand new van, and I also have this big ass new auto scrubber. And that was also another pain and like a real big source of anxiety, is because I just spent $6,500 on this auto scrubber, and now I need to go buy a new van for like 25,000 bucks or whatever. So it was a really expensive day for me, and you don't really want to go buy a new vehicle when you just spent a shitload of money buying a new machine. But it is what it is, and I think I made the right decision, because now this van is so cool. It's brand new and shiny. It's got so many little bells and whistles. I put like a big wrap on the side of it. I have a friend that owns like a sign company where they build signs for bars and restaurants and things like that. Well, he can also wrap vehicles. So I got a huge wrap with my name on the side of it, and I got to design it on my own, and it's really cool. I've been getting a lot of emails and text messages and Facebook messages from my friends when they see me around town. They're like, "Oh, I saw your van." And so people are recognizing it and they're seeing it, and that's been really cool. So anyway, I had this big machine, right? This auto scrubber. This thing is like, I can't remember how much it weighs. I think it's like 300 or 400 pounds when it's empty, and you can't get it in the van. Like, there's just no way to lift it. It's way too heavy. So I ended up buying this ramp. I have a customer that is a medical supply company, and they sell wheelchair ramps. So I go buy this really nice ramp so that I can wheel my equipment into the van. Well, guess what? It's not going to work. The auto scrubber is too flat to the ground, and I showed you guys it won't tilt, so I can't really push it up the ramp. And then when it's inside the van, I can't get it out without it sliding down really fast and being dangerous for me or whoever's getting it out, or two, damaging this machine that's really expensive. So after I bought it, I realized, crap, I have some logistic issues. I don't know how I'm going to get it in and out of the van. So what am I going to do? Well, I found this cart. and it's a flatbed cart that I got from like a moving type company. It's like a moving supply company. They sell dollies and carts and boxes and all kinds of weird things, but they had this big ass cart. So I bought the cart and I put a little ring on the front, and I just drilled it in and put some screws in, and now it has this steel ring that I can connect a winch to. Then what I did, this way I can move the auto scrubber around. Once it's up on that cart, the auto scrubber is very easy to move. I mentioned in my video, it's a pain in the ass to get in and out of buildings because it's so heavy and it's so low to the ground, you can't tilt it over even little bumps going inside doors. Well, now with this big cart, it's got big wheels, so I can just bump it over any little bump or on the sidewalk. And if I need to like push it down the street, if I park far away, I don't have to worry about putting wear and tear on the wheels on the auto scrubber. So it was a great solution for many different reasons. And now I have this cart, I can load anything that's heavy onto the cart, and I needed a way to get it into the van because it's still really heavy. So I bought a winch to get it in and out of the van. The winch that I got is the Badland ZXR 2500. I got this at Harbor Freight for about $75. The way that I've installed this, I don't really recommend the way that I've installed it. I'm not a professional fabricator type guy. I just did what works, and it seems to be safe enough. And I'm not telling you that you should copy me. You should probably do this out of metal and have it mounted to the van, but let me go ahead and show you what I did. All I did was I got this big block of wood and I drilled some holes in it, and there's a nut on the other side with some washers to hold it. It's attached here and here, and it's on there pretty sturdy, but you see how this moves up and down? All it is just sitting, see my seat's here, and then the frame that the seat is attached to is right there. Now this is going nowhere. This thing is mounted to the frame of the vehicle because it is a seat, and they don't want the seats to fly out or go anywhere. So I feel safe that that's secure. But I just slid it into this hole, and then on the other side, I slid it into the other hole. But that way, when the winch is on, the pressure is pulling the winch in this direction against those two things, and it's just not going to go anywhere. I feel really safe and confident with it. So that's how I have it mounted. And at first, to get the power to it, I just attached some jumper cables to these leads right here, and it goes to this fuse box. And then I connected this wire to some jumper cables, and then I took it out the side of my vehicle right up here to the front, and I connected it to the battery anytime I would want to use it. Now that's kind of a pain in the ass because you don't want to get the jumper cables out and pop your hood and mess around with the wires every single time you want to get an auto scrubber in and out of your vehicle. So I took it to a car install place like that does radios and CD players, and I had them professionally install this. So now it's connected directly to the battery, so I can use it anytime. I don't have to mess with anything. All I have to do is just hit the button, and this winch is ready to go. See, so now it's connected all the way up here to this little fuse box, to this wire, and then that wire just goes right through here and somehow goes to the battery, like through the firewall. This is the power switch. To use it, all I have to do is just plug it in right up there, and then I'm ready to go, and then the winch will work, and then I can stand outside or whatever and use this little button to activate. What I really like about my setup is I have this wireless remote. That way I can be all the way in the back. See, I would load everything right through those doors here, so I could be outside holding the cart on the ramp so it doesn't slide off, and just use this remote to activate the winch. So I could just show you really quick how it works. So I'm just going to hit this extend button, and then basically I would just take that cable all the way out the back door here, and I'd have my ramp set up anyway, on the other side. I would bring the machine right up in through here, and then I could park it right in this little area. And see this? I got some cool little hooks, so I can attach some of these straps to the cart and to the auto scrubber and keep it secure while I'm driving down the road. So that's what I did to get the winch installed in my van. I recommend it. If you're going to be hauling heavy equipment in and out of your van, may as well get a ramp, may as well get a big ass cart and connect a winch to your van. And then, you know, that way you can haul anything anytime. If I need to get my pressure washer in and out, there's a lot of equipment that's really heavy and you don't want to use your back, especially if you're working on your own. The thing is, you're working these long hours. A lot of people tell me, oh, don't burn yourself out, you're working too much. I get it. You know, you don't want to get tired, you don't want to burn yourself out. Fatigue is an issue that you need to combat, because if you get tired, your quality is going to start suffering. But by having tools like this that take a lot of the pressure off of you from pushing and pulling and unloading and all that stuff, you're not going to wear yourself out with the unloading and loading, and so that's going to give you more energy to get the job done. So anyway, I don't really let anyone else use this because I don't want them to get a finger chopped off or something. So I've been very careful with when I use it. I'm really paying attention to what I do. I don't want to get snapped in the face or have something bad happen. So I don't know, you don't have to do it the way that I did it. Maybe you don't want to do it at all, but I'm just telling you guys what I did, and I like the solution. So if you want to do what you want, when you want, how you want, for who you want, how much you want, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys next time.